We're very stressed today because nothing's decided to work.
Oh, I can't, yeah.
And it's a Sunday afternoon, so we're both like, hello and welcome to our podcast. I am Catherine,
And
that
I'm
little
Rosie.
that little chicken over there, that's Rosie. And this is our podcast 26 to Life, where after 26 years of friendship, we've officially been together longer than a life sentence. I'm doing the work because you said you were tired.
That, you got to give me a heads up if you're going to do the work.
Please can you go and follow us on absolutely everything? TikTok and Instagram, we are 26 to life _pod, and YouTube and Spotify, we are 26 to life pod. Buckle up, this case is awful. There is so much gruesome murder, but fortunately, we're not talking about children.
Oh my God,
And
thank
I
you.
feel like our last few cases have been children.
No, Ruth Ellis wasn't about
No,
child.
she still had a kid, and it was a pretty traumatic
She,
life for him.
she had a child, yeah, but it
And
wasn't.
he had a pretty traumatic life.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
The first thing I want to talk about is the difference between spree killer, mass murderer,
hmm
and serial killer.
hmm
What is the difference?
So a serial killer is someone that, I mean, they kill multiple people over the course of many weeks, years, a certain amount of people. I don't know how many that would be. A
Three or more?
mass, three or more, okay. Mass murderer would be multiple people all in the same location, all at the same time. And a spree killer would be over a shorter period of time in multiple locations.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Have we covered a mass murderer before?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, I suppose White House Farms, way back when, that's a mass murder.
How many does it have to be for it to be a mass murderer?
Three or more within a single event.
Yeah.
So, White House Farm, Jeremy Vamber, Sheila, the two kids, and the parents.
Yeah.
Mass murder. We are looking at a spree killer, and we're starting off in Rotherham, in Yorkshire, South Yorkshire to be precise. And we are talking about Anthony Arkwright.
We do a lot of Yorkshire cases, don't we? Or you do. I feel like we've done a lot of cases in Yorkshire. Do you think that's just because there are a lot of murderers in Yorkshire, or
Oh, we were never going back to Yorkshire, are we?
Jack's family's from Yorkshire, so I have to.
Well, you're going to die. Or they're going to hate you. So let's hope they
Oh
don't
well.
listen to this. And Anthony Arkwright is the middle child in quite a poor family. It's like a mining village in Wath upon Dearn.
Wath as in Wath.
Yes, Wath.
Wath, yeah, I'd say Wath.
And he grows up just like in not a great way. He's going between care homes, and his mum had abandoned him, and he just becomes this angry, violent, and quite disgusting young man. He idolizes two people.
Oh,
Guess who they are?
don't. It's gonna be like some serial killer, isn't it? It's gonna be a Yorkshire Ripper.
At least it's not Hitler this time.
That's
I'm so over Hitler.
I'm just so glad it's not Hitler. But is it?
So,
It's got to be the Yorkshire Ripper if he's from Yorkshire.
it is. So he loves the Yorkshire Ripper, Peter Sutcliffe,
Mhm.
and he loves Peter Sutcliffe's idol, who was
Jack the
Jack the
Ripper.
Ripper. So, yeah,
What's wrong with these people? Why can't you idolize like I don't know?
the Kardashians.
No, idolize someone that's actually like Mahatma Gandhi, the Dalai Lama,
No,
Mother
I agree
Teresa.
with you, but I'm just saying, if you want to have bad idols,
Yeah, but why? Don't have a bad idol. Have a good idol. Just be a good person. Like,
I don't think they can.
just be a good person.
Who's your idol?
Who's your who's your idol?
Probably me.
It's a good answer.
There were rumours that he was the product of incest, that his grandfather was his father. Now, these aren't true rumours, but it's quite like a widespread rumour because like, people at his school know it and
Mm.
he believes it. And so, yeah, as you can imagine, children at school are mean, and they just
That's
like
so brutal. Yeah, that's vicious.
tormented him
Hmm.
for all of his childhood, and especially because his mum's abandoned him, and you add in that, it's not a good mix.
Hmm.
But when he was about 21, we have this very skinny, 6'5", spiky, sort of like a wedding cake on his
Ooh,
head.
nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he has these really long, stupid sideburns. Like, if you have sideburns, you crack on, you do you. But because he is a twat, they're like all the way down.
What, like Wolverine?
Yes, just like Wolverine.
Oh my
They look
God.
stupid on Wolverine as well. And I
Okay.
love Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, nothing looks stupid on Hugh Jackman, let's be honest. I I love
His
him.
sideburns do.
I still no.
No, sorry. No. But nothing this guy does is going to be good because he's ugly just inside and out. And at the age of 21, it's 1988, and he is living in a council house in a place called Denman Road. And it seems to be one of these places where all the neighbours know each other, which, when you're a nice human being, might be a nice thing. But because he is the epitome of a fox shit, he is awful, and he gets into so many issues with his neighbours, and he struggles to hold down a regular job. He's in and out of work a lot, and he's just always arguing with people. He just sounds like ew. Do you know,
Ew.
one of those people in the area that you're just like, oh, honestly, are you not dead yet?
What, he's 21? And you're like, why
I've
are
got
you
a
not
couple
dead
of
yet?
neighbours that I'm literally sitting here thinking, when I see that hearse.
No way. Do you remember when I was standing on your doorstep one time at like 1 a.m. because my sister had to run and pick something up from me, and the coroner was picking up a dead body across the road?
Oh my god, I do.
That was so bad.
That family, you had wild times living in this house. The axe murderer, the police dog in the garden,
Oh my God, the
the
best.
dead body across the road.
Yeah, we were just standing there, and people they must, because it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was chatting because I hadn't seen my sister in a while, and she was coming to pick up a key or something like that.
Do you reckon they thought you'd come out for the show?
Yeah, I feel like they thought that we were just standing there watching, and the thing is that we did stop and watch because we were like, "What's going on over there?" And then as soon as we realised it was an actual dead body, I obviously nervously laughed, and then they probably just thought I was a horrible, horrible person.
You laughed at a dead body.
I was like, because because I realised what it was, and I was so shocked.
You must have got me down though, because I remember this.
No, definitely not.
Or
I
did you
didn't.
tell me the next day?
No, I told you the next day.
But I was worried because one of those neighbours is old and I love her.
Yeah.
Was I worried the next day? Did you just leave me thinking that she was dead?
I didn't know any of the neighbours there, so no, I have no idea. No, because I told you which house it was at, and you were like, "Oh no, it's not that one."
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, fair, 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 fair.
And then I think you told your mum, and your mum just knows everything in the area, so I think
No, that house was a woman I used to work with, the one where you saw the body, and I think it must have been one of her relatives. Because I was like, oh my god, is she dead? Like, she's not old or anything.
Yeah.
And then I saw her 2 days later, and I was like, no, it wasn't her that was dead.
Drama.
He makes a lot of enemies in this area, as you can imagine, but he also makes a friend. And this man is going to claim that he was just an innocent bystander in all of this. Firstly, he calls this guy Tony, so I know you're too friendly with him. But then his lawyer also called him Tony, and I was like, you guys just need to calm down. His name is Anthony.
Tony's an awful, awful name.
Well, I mean, if you know someone's bad, why are you giving them a nickname?
Yeah. Did I tell you
But
that Jack wants to name our dog Tony, our next dog?
no.
I vetoed it. Because Tony's not a horrible name for a human, but it's a horrible name for a dog.
Yeah. Although Leo wanted to call Arlo Dinosaur.
I want to name my next dog Dino.
Yeah, that's cute. That is cute. But Leo didn't want Dino. He wanted Dinosaur.
Yeah. No, I want to name my child Ella, but it'd be short for mozzarella.
You're not allowed to name them Ella.
Why not?
Because we had a pact.
Yeah, and where's your child called Rosie?
I'm infertile.
So?
So you can't punish me for being infertile.
I'm not punishing you. I'm just
I
not
named a
knowing what.
fish after you.
That literally does not count.
What
That.
about if I name a dog after you?
No! 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 I'm
You are missing
sorry.
out. Catherine is such a good name.
It is, it's a lovely name, but what you gonna
Regal.
do?
You're gonna have a kid called Mozzarella.
You literally could have called Leo Rosie still.
You take that up with him.
You know what? I will.
If he agrees to it, then fine.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so this guy, Neil Hurst, will go on to tell us so many times that I did nothing wrong. We can play a little game called Spot the Red Flags of Neil. Honestly,
Shall I get my pen? I'm writing it down. Right, Neil Hurst is his name.
Yeah.
Red flag. Okay.
So Neil refers to himself as his former neighbour, but that's like me referring to you as my former roommate. Like, just wait, they are best buds. So for starters, he once goes into Anthony's house and he's like, there's knives everywhere. There's flick knives, there's big knives, there's knives everywhere. Oh no, I should not be here. And he says at that point he left, I don't believe you. You're still involved in this story afterwards. Once you've been into someone's house and you see that it's covered in knives, that's it. I'm out. I'm out and I'm out of your life forever. He is not. Neil, I'm not done with you. I will come back to you.
Okay. I'm ready.
I've got things to say about Neil.
I've already got 3 red flags.
What's he done?
The first one is that he calls him Tony.
Ew, yeah, gross.
The second one is that he lies about being his friend. And the third one is that he has loads of... Yeah, he saw the knives and didn't say anything.
Yeah, fair. 2 of the other neighbours are Raymond Ford and Marcus Law. Now, they're not red flags because they know that Anthony Arkwright is no good and they stay well away from him.
Okay, good. What are their names again, sorry?
Are you taking notes on
No, I'm not. I just feel like I should, though, but I almost felt like I should take notes. I don't know. I was just natural.
Raymond Ford and Marcus Law.
Okay.
So Raymond Ford is an ex-teacher and he had taught abroad for a number of years in Burma, which is no longer called Burma. They've reverted to their pre-colonisation name. Do you know what it's called now?
No.
Myanmar.
I think it's Myanmar.
Are you sure?
I feel like, yeah.
M-A-Y-A-N.
M-Y-A-N.
No, M-A-Y. Myanmar.
Are you sure it's spelt with M-A?
Yeah.
So there's a Myanmar and a Myanmar.
M-A-Y-A-N-M-A-R.
No, it's Myanmar. It's M-Y. It hasn't got M-A-Y. Who are you calling?
Wait 1 minute.
Hello, my princess.
Mum,
Yes,
the other day,
yes,
you said to me that Burma is no longer called Burma.
that's correct.
You told me, how do you spell it? What's it called now?
Myanmar.
How do you...
M-Y-A-N.
Okay, I may have added the A. Rosie disagrees. She says it's Myanmar.
No, I don't disagree.
Myanmar is the same, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Myanmar, I mean, it's M-Y, so it's
Oh
going
my
to be
god.
Myanmar or
Myanmar, like me and Mum. Myanmar. That's like
It's
that.
fine.
Okay. Bye, Mummy. Love you.
Where are you? I called you earlier on.
I was napping.
That's nice. How are you feeling? How's everything?
Yeah, fine. I'm in the middle of recording a podcast though with Rosie. Can I call you later?
Okay, no worries. Love you. Give Rosie my love.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
She can hear you.
Bye.
Bye. So,
Okay, I've actually just...
Myanmar.
Yeah, I've done it on Google and that also says Myanmar, so perhaps I was incorrect.
Myanmar
red
sounds
flag for
like,
me.
what's her face? Mary Bell writing a letter. Ma. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Awful.
What
Anyway, that's not
What was the
important.
other one's name? Mary
Norma
Bell.
Bell?
Norma.
I don't know why you loved that so much.
It's so ridiculous.
While he was there teaching, he had contracted a disease, which you know more about than I do.
I mean, what? When he was in Myanmar?
Burma. Yeah.
When he was in Burma. I mean, it probably would have just been through, like, mosquitoes or something.
Yeah.
So much through those bugs.
but it left him like severely ill for the rest of his life.
No
so
way.
he was unable to work. And he was in his 60s when Anthony Arkwright was living in this area, and he has a serious problem with alcohol addiction. And him and Arkwright just often clash. You can imagine.
Yeah.
Arkwright's just a knob. He's just one of those people. Now we have Marcus Law, who was also a disabled man. I don't know if you can describe Raymond Ford as disabled, but he was ill. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if he was physically impaired due to this illness, or he was just incapable, then perhaps he would have.
Yeah, you could. But Marcus Law is in a wheelchair. He had been in a car crash when he was 17 years old, and he lived in the bungalow at the end of the row of houses. So one day in August 1988, Arkwright burgles Raymond Ford's house. And he steals an antique clock and a microwave. Microwaves, once upon a time, they were in like high demand, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, I mean, when they were new, when did microwaves first come out? Like, because I feel like when they were new.
50s.
Yeah, but when were they like
Maybe even
commonplace?
earlier.
Microwaves.
No, they were invented in 1945.
Oh, the first microwave for residential use comes to the market. It doesn't come to the market until 1967.
What? Are you still looking at microwaves?
No! Sorry, go.
So Ford reports it to the police and he says, I think it was Arkwright. And so that's it. Mm-hmm. Arkwright's not going to be happy about this, is he?
No, he's a psychopath.
And snitches get stitches. But they are always getting into issues. And Arkwright has this long criminal history. And I think this is why he thought it was him. As a juvenile, he had done 30 months in a detention centre.
And he's 21 years old.
He's 21.
Oh my God.
I know. So
30 months as a juvenile. How old are you as to be a juvenile?
under 18.
That's crazy. 30 months is like nearly 3 years.
Didn't think of it all.
From 18. So
No,
what?
but under 18.
yeah,
as a
I know.
child.
No. Oh yeah, but I mean like up to 18 years old, and he's done nearly 3 years in juvenile. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
On Friday the 26th of August 1988, few days after the burglary, Anthony Arkwright's employers, he works for a scrap merchant. What's a scrap merchant?
I think it's one of those people that go around and collect scrap metal and then sell it for whatever.
I've got no idea. They've had enough.
That seems like the kind of thing that you would have usually Googled.
I was way too busy.
That useless information that you usually just give
I
us
was
a
busy
random
Googling
fact for.
Myanmar.
Of course you are.
I don't think I've done too much random Googling in this one. I think I've been pretty good. So he is fired by them. They've just had enough of his nonsense. They are so done with him. They say it's because he's often late or like got bad attendance. But if you were an employer and you're having to deal with this twat waffle, you would just give up, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So it's that Friday evening that Neil, Anthony's former neighbour, Neil and his cousin Darren are going to go out for the night, and they're going to go out with Tony, their good friend Tony.
Oh my God.
And so they're getting ready, and Neil says that Anthony
knocked on door
and came into his house.
What
That's
has
literally what he
happened?
said.
Are you having a stroke?
No, that's what he said.
Are you okay?
knocked on door.
I was like, what are you saying?
It's happening again, Jay! Call the ambulance!
That is literally what they say.
What are you doing?
I'm going to play it to you later.
Yeah, please do. Oh my God. I know exactly what the Yorkshire accent sounds like, and
That's literally perfection to what he says. So he arrives at their house in like this full combat gear. He's wearing camo top, like the cargo camo bottoms, boots. And they're like, you can't go to a club like that.
Yeah,
obviously. They don't think, why has this man arrived like this?
yeah.
they think he can't come clubbing with us like this. We'll lend him some clothes. So they go out and Neil is driving and they bump into Marcus Law. Now, this is how Neil tells the story. Driving along in the car and Marcus is crossing the road in his wheelchair and Marcus stops in the middle of the road and Neil's beeping at him and it's like a big funny joke of get out the fucking road. Neil obviously is good friends with Marcus, so he finds it funny. They were joking around, but Anthony says, I'm going to kill that bastard. And Neil says, I believed him. You believed him, Neil, but then you still proceeded to go out with him for the evening.
Yeah, and you didn't report anything to the police.
Didn't report anything. And even if you're not, like, you can't report anything, fine, because he's just a weirdo who's made, like...
Yeah, but I'm sure you must, like, maybe you can't... You must be able to say something. If I were to sit here and say to you, like, my next door neighbour is an awful person, and I think I'm gonna have to kill them, you would just not say anything.
But would they actually be able to do anything about it?
Well, no, not necessarily do anything, but you'd at least have it off of your conscience that you said something.
But he carries on going out with him for the night. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Not a problem. But in an interview like now, if you speak to him now, he says that he believed him. It wasn't like it was part of the joke. And when they get to the club, he says that Anthony starts dancing and he describes it as military dancing. And I was like, oh my God, if this man starts Heiling Hitler, I can't cope. So he says he's
military dancing.
I don't know.
What does that even mean?
But he's also...
For that.
What? No, Anthony's doing the military dance.
Yeah, I know, but for the fact that he's describing it as military dancing, like...
But while Anthony is doing this military dancing, he's, like, bumping into people all over the place. So, like, bumping into loads of other people who are dancing.
Yeah.
And Neil says they all get kicked out. Now, again, you are still friends with this man.
Yeah.
Like, stop acting like you are former neighbour.
Yeah.
You went on a night out with him. You all got kicked out. So it wasn't like he was over there and you were over here. They knew you were all together.
But they kicked out because of Anthony, because of Anthony's behaviour.
They don't say.
Okay.
It could be. It also could be the fact that there were just three weird dudes. So they go home and Anthony goes up to Raymond's flat and he picks up a metal bin and throws it through Raymond's window. Neil is there. I feel like I'm really giving Neil a lot of stick because he's so dishonest, I find. Like, he was like, oh, I just thought that was so weird. I went up to bed.
But it's like everything that you... I remember when we were doing some other cases in the past when we've... Like Sabrina
Nessa.
And it's about... If you see your friend doing something inappropriate to a woman and you don't say anything, you're still just as bad as the person who's being inappropriate. And it's the same thing. If I saw you pick up a bin to start pretend to throw it through a window,
No,
I would be like,
he throws
no, I
it.
know, but even if you were to pretend to pick it up, if you were to like pick up a bin and act as if that's what you were about to do, I would say, what are you doing? Stop.
I think boys are a problem with this.
If you threw it through the window, I would be like, Catherine, what the is wrong with you? You know, like I wouldn't let you get away with that.
I think boys are too nervous to call their friends out on stuff.
Oh.
Like if her friend was being racist, you would turn around and be like, I'm sorry, what on earth? And you probably wouldn't have anything to do with them again.
Yeah.
But boys, if their friends do it, they're like, oh, I can't say anything. That's so It's pathetic.
Yeah, no, it
just call people out on stuff. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine if you said something, I don't know, like, not that you ever would, but can you imagine saying something racist or homophobic? I'd be like, oh my God, are you okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas boys don't. So on the Saturday morning, the police arrive at Anthony's home for the burglary. They search the house and they find knives. They find a pocket watch with Russian engraved on the back. Remember that. They find clothes that are soaking in the bath and they find money. So they take him into the Royal Marsh police station. They take him into custody.
Soaking in the bath, like in what? In just water?
Water.
Oh. Okay.
And this man is so stupid. PC David Winter is assigned to the case. And honestly, I have so many notes on this man as well. The men in this
Oh, because he's good.
so stupid. It's unbelievable.
Hell.
So they interview Anthony and they're talking to him, blah, blah, blah. But whenever they mention this pocket watch, he gets a bit kind of like fidgety and a bit jumpy and he's nervous about that. He's not nervous about the fact that he's got 2,700 knives stashed away around his house. I don't actually have a number for that. But he is nervous about the fact that they've found this watch. So Arkwright is bailed. They don't have enough to hold him on remand. He's just, it's like a minor, burglary.
Minor, breaking and entering. Like, how is that minor?
Well, it's not going to be that you're held on remand for it, is it? You're going to be bailed. It's not like you've robbed money from the government, then you're held on remand.
Yeah.
You've only robbed money from just like a nobody like us.
Yeah.
But, like if you attacked a member of the government, remand. If you attack a member of the public, bail. Do you know? 'Cause it's to do with importance of people, not to do with... Yeah.
I'm seeing a pattern.
And if it's a money thing, remand, because money from the government, worst crime you can commit. Rape of a child, bail.
Yeah.
PC Winters drives Arkwright home and he's like, Arkwright, I was going to go to Raymond Ford's and get a statement.
Yeah.
And Arkwright was trying to deter me from going in. But you didn't get a statement from Raymond Ford and you didn't actually manage to get into his house. So he didn't try and deter you. He actually did deter you.
Wait, Anthony Arkwright basically said, no, I don't think you should. So he said...
No. He was like, he's not in. He's gone out drinking. He's at the pub. And PC Winters was basically like, yeah, okay, I'll try and get into them. Thank you very much. And off he went.
What? So he didn't even knock on the door or anything.
He knocked on the door, but he was basically like, he was trying to deter me from going in. And I was like, he's not trying to deter you. He's actually deterred you. You've listened to him.
Wait, Raymond Ford?
Yes, he's trying to speak to Raymond Ford.
And wait, is this the person that he threw a bin through his window?
Yes.
So his window's smashed in?
PC Winters didn't see it.
What?
Doesn't see it. Don't see it. Don't see it. Rose.
Wow.
It's not, He didn't see it. I don't know what to tell you. He didn't see it.
Okay.
So he's not got a statement from Raymond Ford. Anthony Arkwright is now out and living his best life.
Yeah.
And Neil Hurst, goes to see his good friend Marcus Law. Lives in the bungalow at the end. And he walks in and he's like, oh my God, what is happening? He's calling for him. And again, he says... knocked on the door. That's what he said. He knocks on the door.
Please stop doing that. You're going to insult so many people.
So anyway, Neil says he goes round. He's knocking on the back door to try and talk to Marcus. And no one's answering. So he goes in and he says he sees the worst sight he's ever seen. Marcus has been disemboweled. All of his insides are out. Neil obviously does the right thing, goes to the police, reports it. Lol joke. He says he's scared he's going to be implicated, so he just leaves the body there.
What? Only people who have actually... that is the first time that I've ever heard... I'm assuming that he's innocent, because I'm assuming this story is about Anthony, but that is the first time I've ever heard an innocent person say that. Like, usually that's the excuse of the murderer, who they're like, well, why didn't you call? And they're like, I thought you'd think that I would kill him.
That's why I think him and Anthony Arkwright are more buddies than he lets on. And he said he thought he'd be implicated because Anthony was wearing his clothes. And I was like...
How do you know when Anthony did it? Or whether it was Anthony?
Because Anthony said, I'm going to kill him. And also because Anthony was wearing his clothes. And I was like, that still doesn't matter. Like, to me, everything is explainable. Like, if you went out and murdered someone and you're wearing my clothes, I'd be like, yeah, she was wearing my clothes.
Yeah, because he came to the house wearing combat boots and army trousers.
Neil Hurst has found this body, left it there. This body of Marcus Law is not found until the Monday, and he's found by his mum.
Oh.
He's found by his mum because that piece of...
Wait, on the Monday?
Yeah. Awful. So on the Monday, the mum obviously calls the police, and the police go in and they say that Marcus Law is behind the sofa and he's been cut open. This is gruesome. This is graphic.
Okay, just spoiler alert for everybody. This is going to be awful. So
Yeah.
just skip ahead like a minute.
It's not that long. Like,
Yeah, I know, but details.
stomach has been cut open. His crutch has been stuck through his stomach. Cigarettes have been put into all of his holes, orifices. Guess what PC Winter says?
He's going to say something really inappropriate, isn't he?
He says he looks like a birthday cake. How can you, with a straight face, say that as a police officer to a camera?
That's actually, he said that to a camera.
Yeah. Said he looked like a birthday cake.
What was this, like on the documentary or something?
This was in a documentary. Was it like a YouTube clip?
What the actual
Awful.
That's actually so
Awful.
unhinged.
Actually,
That's...
just all the way off. Like,
yeah, no,
awful.
that is unhinged. Like, that's so inappropriate.
Yeah. So, a few hours later, they pick up Anthony Arkwright. They're pretty sure it's him who's done this. And they start to question him for the murder. He's being questioned the whole time. And his lawyer says he loves this. Like, he just loves this. And... and it's around this time that PC Winter thinks, oh, I never got a statement from Raymond Ford. Let me go and try and get a statement from Raymond Ford. And he gets there, and now he realises the smashed in window, which he didn't notice before. And so he gets into the house, and the front room that's been smashed in is just full of cider bottles. But he says it's like there's someone at home. The TV's on, the heating is on, newspapers everywhere. And he goes into the corridor and he says he just sees blood everywhere. And I think he'd gotten in the house. Yeah, so he's walking through the corridor and he sees blood everywhere and there's just stuff all over the place. This guy's a hoarder. And then he gets into a bedroom and he sees this pile of clothes. And I'm like, please understand it's never a pile of clothes.
It's literally never a pile
It's never a pile of clothes. And under the pile of clothes is a body. And it is Raymond Ford.
Oh.
And he has been also cut open and he has been stabbed 250 times.
Oh my God.
All of his organs have been taken out, and PC Winter realises that when he was walking through the corridor, the stuff that he was walking through was all of Raymond Ford's organs.
How did you not notice that?
The man didn't notice a bin through a window and he called someone a birthday cake. We are not dealing with the brightest spark here.
He just stepped on this man's organs and didn't think, wow, this doesn't feel like carpet.
Yeah.
What the actual diddly is wrong with this doofus?
Imagine putting your foot down, it'd be like...
Imagine being murdered and having that man as your investigator. Like,
idiot, honestly.
I can't.
And so they're, you know... At the house, they also find a really creepy, like, devil mask thing, which, yeah, we'll come to that a bit later. And so it's the end of day one of questioning, and they pull Anthony Arkwright's lawyer out of the room, and they tell him, look, we found another body. We found Raymond Ford. But at this point, Anthony Arkwright doesn't know that they found the second body. And so they've given him a pack of playing cards, you know, to keep him entertained because he's there.
No, let him sit in silence and think about what he's done.
Well, usually I would agree, but actually this pack of playing cards seems to be helpful at this point. He seems to be the kind of person, like, he's enjoying this. He wants to play games. He does really weird things. And so he's dealing out the cards on the table and he comes to the 4 of hearts and he says to them, 1 you've got, 2, 3 and 4 to come. And at this point they know, well, we've got 2. Okay, he doesn't know we've got 2, but we've got 2. Does that mean there's another more. 2 bodies to find? And his lawyer, Steve Smith, takes him out and they say, you know, he says, they found the other body.
Yeah.
They're still counting the stab wounds at this point. And Anthony Arkwright, he laughs. He laughs and he is just enjoying this so much. And so the police are now at 92 hours of having him in custody. And I didn't understand this because they're like, well, 92, we can only hold him for 96. So we've got 4 hours to find these other 2 bodies or we'll have to let him go.
But they know that he's murdered, so why did...
Why?
Why would you let them go?
I think they do it for dramatic effect because at 96 hours you have to charge him or release him, but you can charge him for 2 murders and then
even if you know
charge
that
him
there's another
later.
4, 100%, you'd think.
So I don't really understand that. So they are like, okay, unless they think they haven't got enough to charge him.
Yeah. He's literally said 2 to go, 4 to go, 3 to go, whatever.
Yeah, but that's not a confession, is it? Anyway, they're thinking it's going to be someone he knows because the 2 other guys, people he knows. So they start going through everyone that he knows, and they said there's about 200 people. I don't know 200 people. Do you know 200 people?
Definitely not. No.
I mean, unless you're thinking of people that I know and don't like.
Yeah, but those are exactly the kind of people that you would murder, surely.
But he doesn't like anyone.
So maybe there is 200 people that he knows and doesn't like.
Wild. Wild. And they arrive at Ruskin Avenue. And Ruskin Avenue is where his grandfather lives. And his grandfather's got this cute little house. And he lives there with his housekeeper, Elsie. And he is from, I want to say, Latvia, because I didn't write it down. Yeah. And so, guess who goes to the house?
Winter.
Yeah. Honestly, unbelievable. And he gets a ladder and he climbs up through the top window. And
Wait, what? Is there not easier ways to access a house where you think the crime has been committed?
well, he goes to the door and no one answers. And he's like, oh, something's going on here. And I thought, you've literally arrested this man's grandson on a double murder.
And you think 2 more people are being murdered?
On.
Like,
yeah. Even if he's not dead, you're still like in quite a situation. So he climbs through the window at the top, and he says that in the bedroom, it looks like a burglary. So the wardrobes are pulled open, everything's everywhere, and he walks through the house, and in the kitchen he finds Elsie, and Elsie is also dead. But her murder, this is going to sound weird because it's brutal, but it's not like she's been disemboweled and stuff. So she's been hit in the head with an axe once and she's died immediately, and that's it.
That's brutal, though.
It's brutal. But the reason I'm saying it is because when they talk to this forensic psychologist, she basically says that in order to disembowel someone, to take out their organs, it's a lot of work. It's a long, drawn-out process. And it's almost like he has to be really angry and have a lot of hatred for them in order to do it. Whereas with Elsie, it seems to be more a case of, I don't want to say the word convenience, but yeah, like he had to. So they now are like, okay, we found 3. Where's the grandfather? They search the house, they can't find him. And they get chatting to one of the neighbours, and one of the neighbours says he has an allotment. So they go over to the allotment, and when they arrive at the shed on his allotment... Oh, can you explain what an allotment is?
Yeah. An allotment is kind of like some people in certain areas, they don't have big gardens, or maybe they do have big gardens, but they don't want to garden certain amounts of things there. So a lot of people will have an allotment so they can grow flowers, veg. It's just like one block of like a couple of meters.
It's more
of
for
land.
growing things as opposed to looking pretty, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Usually people will have like a little greenhouse on there, and they'll have rows of like carrots and stuff. I don't know, but you basically just get it's like this whole field, a football pitch sized field, and each person has an allocated allotment. Like
Allocated allotment.
Square footed space of grass essentially that you can do with it as you will.
So he has this allotment and they go to the shed, and when they're there, they see the body of Stanislav, who is Anthony Arkwright's grandfather.
God.
He has been hit with an iron bar and a 14-pound sledgehammer, and his head was completely bludgeoned in, so it's like unrecognisable. But the pocket watch that they found with this engraving on the back, the reason he was so nervous is because he had stolen that from his Lithuanian grandfather.
Wait, earlier on you said Latvian.
I was wrong.
Okay.
Lithuanian.
It's Lithuanian.
I didn't write it down there. I wrote it down here. And so they try and find a motive, and they think it's because of how badly he was taunted about being a child of incest. But they do go on to prove that that is untrue.
Yeah, that was for absolutely zero reason is what you're telling me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Arkwright won't admit anything. He is enjoying this. Basically, his lawyer says his whole life he's felt so insignificant, and now he feels like he's significant. And I'm like, no, you're still insignificant. So after 10 to 11 days of interview, Arkwright does start to talk. And he admits to killing Marcus Law.
He just admits it. He just says, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, he killed Marcus Law. And then he sings them a song.
What?
Do you want to hear the song?
Go on.
It's actually a really good song as well, and I feel like he's ruined this song. This is not the song. Sorry, that was just an advert.
Oh, this is a good song.
Frank Sinatra.
Something in your eyes was so inviting. Something in your
Beautiful song. He sings this to the police officer. And he says, guess the song. Guess the song. And so the police officer goes, Strangers in the Night. He goes, well done, I'll tell you now. And so because the police officer guessed the song, he admitted to killing Stannis, his grandfather, and also Raymond Ford. But he won't admit to killing Elsie. Now, there are some theories, which I disagree with, that he actually felt guilty for killing Elsie. Elsie was innocent. He wasn't, like, by his standards. So according to him, everyone was awful. But according to his standards, Elsie did nothing wrong. She was just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, so what? Yeah, but then, I mean...
He's not guilty. He doesn't feel guilty about it.
Yeah, but he why did he kill her then? Because he obviously, he didn't ever have to kill her. If he killed his granddad at the allotment, then why did he have to go to the house and kill Elsie?
Because I wonder if... So, they found them in the wrong order. And, like, Marcus was the last one to die. Then Raymond was the second last. Elsie and Stannis was the first one. So what it sounds like is he's killed Stannis, probably gone to the house to rob the house, killed Elsie because she's there, and then has gone on to kill the other two men in, like, his crazy spree. He also says at this point that he had planned to kill someone else. He had approached a man at a bus stop, and he had all intentions of killing him. But he asked the man for a cigarette, and the man gave him one. And it was only because that man gave him the cigarette that he...
Decided not to
kill him.
Decided
Neil Bloody Hurst wants to tell us that he also was going to be murdered. He said that Anthony came up to his door and was knocking and knocking and knocking, and he wouldn't let him in. He was like, no, I'm going to bed.
Not everything's about you, Neil.
Neil, it's actually nothing to do with you. He said that if he'd opened the door, he'd also be dead. I was like, no, you wouldn't. You were literally best buds with this man. If he wanted to kill you, he would have killed you. Because he saw Neil in between this killing spree. The night out, he'd already killed 2 people.
What? Oh, he'd already killed his granddad.
Yeah, and then he'd gone on to kill Marcus and Raymond. So
he killed them after the night. Wait. So can you do a timeline for us?
Friday afternoon. So loses his job on the burgles Raymond Ford
on the Friday.
No, a couple of days before. Scrap that. Don't worry about that. Friday afternoon, he's lost his job. He goes and kills his grandfather. Then he kills Elsie. Then he goes out on the Friday night. Saturday,
So when he went to Neil's house in these
he's
camo,
already killed 2 people.
and that's why he was wearing this camouflage outfit, maybe?
Maybe, don't know.
Go on the
Then
night out.
they go on the night out. Then he kills Raymond Ford.
He throws the
throws the bin, murders him. Then he gets arrested for the burglary, spends the day being questioned, is released from police custody, and then on the Sunday morning goes and kills Marcus.
So when did Raymond report him for burglary?
A couple of days before he was killed.
Oh, but they would only just picked him up on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Burglary of non-important people doesn't happen fast. Remember. So he has killed Marcus Law on the Sunday morning. Neil Hurst then finds Marcus Law, doesn't say anything, leaves him till the Monday. They then find Marcus Law. Then working backwards, they find the others.
Yeah.
Are you with me? Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Anthony also says that when he's gone in to kill Raymond Ford, he has stripped off naked in order to avoid any transfer, because I'm guessing at this point he's not worried about his DNA being on them, he's worried about their blood getting onto like his clothes and stuff. So he has murdered him wearing nothing but his boxers and the devil mask.
Why the devil mask?
Because he's a freaking lunatic.
But if he killed Marcus with the devil mask as well, we think?
No, because the mask was found in Raymond Ford's house.
Yeah.
And Raymond Ford was the 3rd out of the 4th murders.
That's so random. So then he
Third
just
out of the
ditched the mask for the...
Yeah. Weird.
It's so
There's
stupid.
no kind of... And also the fact that he'd been in police custody all of Saturday and then still on the Sunday morning went in and murdered someone else is wild. Because you're not in any way fazed by the fact that you've just been...
in police custody.
And you're not worried about the fact that the police are sniffing around, because if Winter was doing his job, he would have seen the bin through the window and found the dead body.
Yeah.
But... So Winter allowed that 4th murder. You stupid man.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, for sure. He literally dropped him off and allowed him to. He basically might as well have just dropped him off at...
Marcus Law's house and was like, see you later.
Yeah. Wait, so when did Neil go to Marcus's house?
On the Sunday.
So it couldn't have been that long after.
But that's why I think, did he know something? I don't know.
Okay, I hate him. I hate them all. I hate everyone in this story.
But he is charged with 4 counts of murder.
Even though he hasn't admitted to Elsie's.
Even though he hasn't admitted to Elsie's, he's charged with all 4. Because they said he kind of started, like, hinting that he'd done it, but he wouldn't come out and say it fully. And in June 1989, the trial begins, and there is media attention everywhere. The Devil Mask Killer and 4 murders in 52 hours or 56 hours or whatever it was. It was quite a big story. And Anthony loves it. He loves the attention. This absolute turtle turns up wearing a red bow tie, and I am so sorry to the turtles because they are adorable, and he just loves the whole charade. He's basking in it. He pleads not guilty, so they have to go through an entire trial.
Oh my gosh.
So with overwhelming evidence, he is found guilty of 3 of the 4 murders. They do not find him guilty of Elsie's.
But he was literally at the house and he stole stuff from the house.
They can't prove that. So the pocket watch went missing from his grandfather at the allotment. It is circumstantial. Even though it's strong circumstantial, it's like, well, hold on a minute. Do you not think that he's going to be the one if he's killed people either side of it? And it's linked. But
wait, do they not have any DNA evidence on the murder weapon or around the house or...
It doesn't seem to me
fingerprints,
like
literally anything.
They said that at this point they needed so much blood in order to do a blood profile that if he had cut himself or hurt himself, because the heat, like in Raymond Ford's house, the heating had been on so long and it had almost dried, and gone gloopy, they wouldn't have been able to use it.
Yeah. What about fingerprints on, you said that she was hit in the back of the head with an axe. Was the axe not there? Could they not have checked?
I don't think so. I don't think they had enough in order to convict him of
bizarre.
it. I think they mainly focused on the
3 men.
Not the 3 men, but the ones that he admitted to.
Yeah.
I think they were kind of like, well, we're going to get him for those 3, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. But still.
And we know he killed Elsie. Like, I just wish they'd just said, yeah, he did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has no emotion whatsoever. When he's charged, when he's sentenced, nothing. Never explains why. There is no evidence to say that he was in any way insane or mentally unstable. It is believed that he was just a bad person.
It's just a horrible, horrible egg.
Yeah, he didn't, like, the insanity plea wouldn't stick. I don't even know if they went for it, but it just wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Because there was this thing of, like, he had a cooling down period in between. He sat in a freaking police station being questioned by the police and then continued to go on and do this.
He went on a night out, like, with his friends. Yeah.
He also attacked vulnerable people. Which I just think is really important to mention. Like, he wants to be this big man who's so scary. You attacked such vulnerable people.
Yeah, people that wouldn't be able to put up a fight.
Absolutely pathetic. So he is sentenced to a life sentence with a minimum of 25 years.
That's not that much.
No. However, in the 1990s, his sentence was increased by the Home Secretary, I want to say. Yeah. By the Home Secretary to a life order. And he is one of, I think, 70 people who are on a life order as of March 2023. Let me just check that statistic that I've written down up there. So as of, oh no, way more recent, sorry. As of March the 11th, 2025, 70 people are on whole life orders. Do you know who's not on a whole life order?
Who?
The guy who killed 3 kids.
David McGreevy.
Should definitely have been on a whole life order.
He's out.
But what I don't understand, right? If you can just murder 3 innocent babies, I know this isn't the case we're talking about today. What's the difference between doing that and what this guy did?
Nothing. Absolutely.
Literally nothing. You should both... I'm not saying this should be less. I'm saying you should both be on whole life orders.
Yeah.
But that is the story of Anthony Arkwright. He is honestly just...
scum of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not infamous.
No. I'd never heard of him before, so...
I know. Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo.
Well, this was fun. Thank you so much. We're going to actually record
you.
another episode in a minute.
Oh my gosh, can I have, like, a 20-minute nap?
Not a nap. You can have a wiggle, like a move around. Please follow us on everything. Come say hi.
Bye!
Love you. Bye.